Hello, everyone watching us from all around the world. Welcome to Power Up with Pride 2023. For those of you who have just been joining us, and thank you so much to everyone who has been already raiding in, bringing your communities to us. Power Up with Pride is a multi-year running speedrunning charity marathon put on by queer members of the speedrunning community and their allies. We have been raising money for several years now for the Trevor Project, which is the world's largest suicide prevention and mental health organization for LGBTQ, that's lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning young people. And we're so excited to be able to continue to support them this year. We have an absolutely fabulous weekend of runs for you all. I hope all of you are excited. I know that I am excited, and we're going to start off real strong with the absolutely amazing Zello, some Mega Man.
Thank you, Scala.
Did I put enough oomph on your name?
Just a little. It's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Before we get started, though, do you mind if I very quickly read out some of the donations that have come in so far?
Oh yes, please go ahead.
Have been so wonderful, already getting us some absolutely lovely donations. So I'm just going to read these off before we get started. We did have from the team itself there. We had our $3 test donation to make sure that the button worked. Always a good thing to do. $20 from Lore Master Modos says, let's get this marathon started off right with some Pride pallets for Kirby. That's for the next run, which I'm very excited for. We have $3 from Windbliss. Hi, it's your neighborhood Cat Dragon, excited to see a weekend of speedruns and further representing all things Pride. Speaking of Pride, I'm putting this small amount for the Pride Palette Showcase. Scally Kitty did a good job. It'd be shamed if this was missed. It's $150 total, so let's do the Trevor Project a favor and get this maybe. As always, Cat Dragon says trans rights. Got another $20 from Kyogi and $13 from Non-Binary Code, donating my lucky number for our good luck to the event and all the runners. And while I'm at it, everyone behind the scenes, the chat, and of course, the Trevor Project heart. So thank you all so much for helping us start off strong. And I do believe, though, that the people are excited for Mega Man. I know I'm excited for this.
Who isn't excited for Mega Man? So what's up, everyone? What's up, everyone?
You told me. Yes, you told me I get to be basically your comms buddy.
I only know
bits and pieces of Mega Man from my brother who loves it, so this is going to be great because I don't know too much about Mega Man network transmission, so you get to teach me, and I'm so excited.
Oh, this is going to be a very exciting intro to the Battle Network series for you.
Yes.
So anyways, everyone, I'm Zelo or Zello, however you want to say it. Welcome in, everyone. This is my 5th Pride Marathon that I've actually been able to participate in, and I always thank the staff for letting me aboard. But this is my first time opening for any marathon, and I couldn't be more happy to open with Mega Man Network Transmission, which is one of my favorite runs to do. So this is a side game in the Mega Man Battle Network series, which is kind of an alternate timeline where networking took place over robots. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. We'll get timing started after the first cutscene here. But here we have the opening cutscene for the game. This is the end of Mega Man Battle Network 1. So basically, those of you not familiar with the series, you have humans make these networks of net navigators, or net navies, and Mega Man is the net navi for our protagonist, Lan. So we're going to be playing as Mega Man for the whole game. Also, we get the absolutely great Mega Dab right there. And you're going to be seeing a lot of Mega Dabbing because my slide in this game happens to be a dab, so you're going to see that for the next hour. What a awesome way to start.
Just dab on all the haters.
Exactly. So we just get a little bit of background right here, being the end of Battle Network 1 where we fight the life virus. Unfortunately, this cutscene is not skippable. But I guess it's more fortunate that it's not skippable because you get to see the Mega Dab every time, and your run is always blessed. So we stopped the evil World 3 organization from taking over the world, and we are now on vacation being a grade school student with nothing better to do. So time is going to start when I get control of this text box right here. So starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so unlike the actual Battle Network series, which is kind of an RPG, this one plays out as a platformer with elements of Battle Network mixed in. So you're going to see a lot of references to classic Mega Man here. But you're going to see a lot of other Battle Network elements like the folder right here. So I'm going to actually reg sword and go to the map and start the first stage. So the main mechanic of the Battle Network series is you have a folder, which is kind of like a deck of cards. You are randomly given those as a whole, and you use the different effects or attacks of each ship to be able to do various things. Now, we always start off with 5 chips at the very beginning of every level in this game. And because of the tutorial, I'm actually forced to take Cannon and V-Gun. And this is actually really good because those are actually 2 of the most useful chips in our starting folder. We also reg Sword because we want to use Sword for the boss in this level, which is very handy for its damage output. So sliding is, of course, the fastest way to get around, as is in typical Mega Man style. So if I'm not sliding, I want to be sliding. So I'm going to do whatever I can to slide, cut my jump short, etc., etc. But another one of the elements of Battle Network that's in this game is a ranking system for fighting enemies. And you can't see it in this game, but you do get ranked for every enemy that you defeat. And whenever you get a high enough rank, then you have a chance to get a battle chip. And if you S-rank an enemy, then you actually are guaranteed a battle chip, which is really important because we want a lot of stuff like cannons and things that we're going to use throughout the game early on. We're also going to be getting some other items right here. We're going to pick up blue mystery data. There's 3 kinds of mystery data, or actually 4 kinds of mystery data in this game. There's blue, green, purple, and yellow. Blue contains fixed rewards. They usually contain upgrades or specific chips. Green is random data based on the area that you're in. Purple is like blue, but you need an unlocker to open it, but they contain very rare rewards. And yellow either contains hints or story items that we want. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the UI real quick. So you can see in the top left corner the yellow and green bars. Yellow is my health. Green is actually my MP. So this game's a little interesting in that there is the number of chips that you have is limited, but also each chip has an MP cost, kind of like casting it. So running this game is a lot of MP management and knowing how to manage both your chips and your MP at the same time, which is very critical in some stages. And we will get upgrades to make things a little bit easier. Okay, so we're coming up to the end of this area right here. So here's our friend Roll. Unfortunately, she can't go home because apparently her way is blocked, so we're going to take the heat armor from her, which decreases damage by heat element attacks by half, and we're going to jump into this area and see what's wrong. And, oh hey, the internet's on fire. If you've ever wondered why you have a fire brewing in your hard drive, this is why. Fireman set the net on fire. That's a little concerning. We might want to stop that. So you get this awesome Fireman remix while we play the Fireman stage right here, which actually, this opening area is a neat little tribute to Fireman's stage in Mega Man 1. The developers really, really liked having some of those callbacks. I'm actually short 1 V-gun right here. Hopefully I'll get draws. Okay, I have just enough cannons to make this work, I think. I'm a little lower on cannons than I'd like. Let's see here. Okay, we should go right here. So I'm going to use these V-Guns to kill the Spiky right here, hopefully get a Heat B. Heat B is the S-rank drop for the Spiky, and I really want one so I don't have to buy one later, because we will make several shopping trips during this run. I am not equipping cannons. Okay. Okay, so anybody who's played this game casually probably got walled by this first boss fight against Fireman. He hits for a lot of damage. If I didn't have the heat armor on, I would get two-shotted by this boss. But we're going to do something that he probably won't be able to defend against. We're going to stand right in front of him. I'm sure that's making a lot of casual players very mad right now to see that fight trivialized. And that really sums up a lot of this game, is you either trivialize the bosses, or you're very scared of them.
It's kind of like par for the course, though, with, like, speedrunning, though. You are either, like, just dunking as hard as possible, or you're like, please.
Oh, don't. That will still absolutely happen when we get to some of the mid-game bosses. Okay, so the plot of the game is that there's a virus going around called the Zero Virus, and it infected Fireman and made him go berserk. So we're going to go start investigating what is causing the Zero Virus to spread. So we're going to dive deeper into the net right here. The first couple levels in this game play out kind of like in a main net area, and then things will open up a bit more after that. Now, I regged cannon this time because we no longer get force chips whenever we start a level. So the reg system in this game is if you have enough reg memory, then you can basically set a chip in your folder to always appear as the first chip when you draw. And I did that with cannon. I did that with sword in the last stage, and I did that with cannon here. Now, I did get some other useful things. I actually did get sword for the boss fight, and I also did get dash attack, which is a really, really handy chip. I might not catch this cycle anymore, though. There's a really tight cycle right here. Just barely slid under it. So this level's really tight on MP usage, so I'm gonna actually forgo using the dash right here. We're just gonna take the slower bridge cycle. So we get introduced to new enemy types here. We get fishies floating around. We have swordies that actually do quite a bit of damage if you crash into them or if they hit you with a sword. And we're going to be taking some damage boosts here and there, so the HP is going to be pretty tight, and it's very possibly die early on here. And unfortunately I didn't get any recoveries in my draw either, so it's a little scary. We should be alright though. We did get sword in our draw, so that's going to help a lot for the boss fight, because we're not going to have to draw sword, mainly that wasn't supposed to happen. I'm a little low on MP. Should be able to just damage boost here. So we get through the outer net over here and we find, hey, my name's Starman, I'm selling a fake vaccine for the virus. And it's like, uh-oh. Well, we try and chase him and he just leaves a spike in the way. What a jerk. So unfortunately, we try and follow him, and he's not around. But we do see our good buddy Numberman, so we go talk for a bit. And there was an email at the beginning of the game where our friend Dex was like, hey, I installed the vaccine inside Gutsman earlier. And it's like, now he emails us like, hey, he's kind of berserk, can you come help me? So naturally, we always have to go help, even if it's Dex. So I buy a couple power-ups for now. And we're going to head over to Dex's in Global 2. Also going to pick up a Buster power-up right there. So there's several different kinds of power-ups. We have HP memories, which increase your max HP. Mem-ups, which increase your max MP. We have reg-ups, which increase your maximum reg memory. We have Buster power-ups, which let you upgrade the stats of your Buster. Right now, the Buster is complete junk. It does 1 damage per hit. For reference, most enemies in this game have at least 40 HP, and my cannons do 40. So, no use for the Buster right now. We'll fix that later. Now, thankfully, by almost every boss fight in the game, there's a convenient health refill, so we can top off right here. But Gutsman's quite difficult. He's actually very tanky with 600 HP at the beginning of the game, and he hits hard. So we're going to use 5 cannons and 5 swords to bring him down, and hope that he doesn't corner me. Thankfully, that fight went perfectly. If you try and slide under him, like, you can slide under him, but he'll usually just pop you with a gut punch in the back right when you stand up. So he's very, very difficult to fight if he gets close. Okay, so we've saved Dex all the trouble. he'll fix Gutsman later, don't worry. But, in convenient plot fashion, 4 of our friends all have problems all at the same time. Scholar, when was the last time you had 4 people ask you to do something all at the same time?
Literally yesterday.
Oh, well then you can take over for the run then.
I'm about to say, like, I work in local government. Having 4 people ask me to do things at once is very common.
Are you saying Mega Man's secretly a government agent? I'd probably believe that with this game.
That sounds like a very, like, Mega Man thing to do.
So the game opens up a bit. We have 4 different stages we can go to. We're going to go to the bank. We're going to withdraw 1 good run, I hope. And conveniently, we have Quick Man here. So those of you who've played your Mega Man 2, you can exactly guess what this stage is going to be. And this is definitely the most difficult stage of the 4 casually. I know I struggled a lot with this. So we grabbed our first reg up right there. We want to be able to set more powerful chips later on in the game so that we can reg them. So we're going to grab a few of those reg ups so we can do that. The damage boost to that Sniper Joe. And then we're just going to hopefully make it past these shield guards. This is a little tight. Okay, good. Didn't die. The hitboxes on those are way bigger than they look, and it's very easy to die. So we're going through the laser section next. These lasers are the bane of most people's childhoods who played this game. But thankfully, the pattern is not that bad.
I used to be scared of lasers when I was a kid.
I'm still scared of lasers, and I'm an adult in my 30s.
Now, why are you scared of lasers?
Very, very painful game trauma.
Okay, but same kind of. Yes, go on.
So this is the Quick Man fight. This is the most execution-heavy fight in the game. Enemies start getting different kinds of gimmicks for their boss fights, and Quick Man's gimmick is that he has a block mechanic whenever he's doing something. He won't put it down unless he's in the middle of attacking. Thankfully, he gave me a very good pattern so I could keep sorting him. So that fight went really well, considering he 3-shots you. That is true, we are an official government employee in the second game. But, this game takes place between 1 and 2, so we're not quite there yet. Alright, so we're going to start heading over to Higsby's shop now. Cannon's already regged. So we're going to head over to Higsby's several times. Higsby's at the other shop. We're going to buy 1 unlocker, so we can open a purple mystery data later, and then we're going to buy heat these until we're at 5 of them. And we're going to keep our money, the rest of our money for later. So here we are going to Yai's. There is a Navi running amok in the garden, causing things to run amok. So we're going to go save Yai.
It's like the ultimate, Internet of Things. That's what I remember from friends who have told me about this series and, watching some of them play it.
Everything's connected. Everything.
Is this like the Spinnishes that can send emails?
Maybe.
Chat, go look up about the whole thing about the Spinnishes that can send emails. It's one of my favorite, weird niche science projects. By the way, do let me know when I have a chance to read some more donations.
Yeah, that's actually a good time.
Fabulous! This is from a little while ago. We had, Takeo, who donated $10, says, I think this will put the total up to $69. Also nice. Also trans rights. $10 from Lucky Starscream. He says, oh, good pride, huh? Hopefully I did that right by that for you, Leggy. And then $5 from Handstands. Thank you all so much for donating. As a reminder, the next game out the gate is going to be, we're going to be playing some Kirby, and we have the option to show off some adorable Pride flag palettes. So if you would like to see a whole bunch of Pride, please go ahead and get those donations in ahead of the next game.
Okay, so I wanted to get 4 tree bombs, but I missed getting an S rank on the first kill plant that was in the level, so I had to spawn an extra kill plant to get a tree bomb later. So I'm gonna dash attack right through there because dash attack is amazing. Grants full invincibility whenever you use it. Shoutouts to Verilix. He kind of retooled a lot of the strats to use dash attack where possible, and he's the other top runner of this game. Really, really good fella. Alright, getting out of that is a little scary. It's easy to bonk, and if I die, that's like a minute 45 gone. So we're going to do our first folder Reddit here. We're going to start swapping chips around. So I'm going to toss out Stone Body and reg Heat V. And Heat V is really good for the boss, because the boss is Needleman. Needleman is Wood Element, and thankfully we can take care of the Element Circle to get rid of him very quickly. Now I did buy I did get an extra HP memory just in case I get hit twice, because this guy is really scary. Alright, he gave me a decent enough pattern. But he can two-shot me if I don't have that extra HP memory, so I grabbed it earlier in the stage to be safe. But he's good. Okay, so coming up next is going to be the waterworks stage. This is definitely the longest stage, and probably the most overall complicated. There's going to be a lot to do here, so we're going to start with the shopping trip. I'm going to buy 1 safety, half energy, and 3 elect blades for the boss fight. Now, I still have Heat V regged, which I need for a grind that we're going to do, but that means I'm also dependent on whatever I get in my draw right here. So a lot of this game, especially on this level, is being able to improv with whatever you have. And let's see what draw we get. That's not very good. That's actually really poor for chips, but I did get Lil Bomb, which should be good enough to get through this. So we're gonna let that one go by here. And then we're going to do this grind. So these are the PUWP viruses, these penguins flying around. We're going to use Heat V and destroy them and get 10 double jumps. Oh wait, we're in English, sorry. It's an 8 character limit, so it's actually Doob Jump. 10 Doob Jumps. So this is the only kind of grinding we're going to do at 80%. This is really, really useful for breaking apart stages later in the game, so it's very much worth getting. So we've got our 10 Doob Jumps, and we're going to hopefully make our way through the rest of the level okay. I did get Repair, which is actually really nice coming up, but I have to not die to these enemies here. If I miss this jump, I die. So we're just going to barely damage boost past the Cold Bear. I have just a few frames to make that jump, so it's very scary. Okay. So the waterworks, we find out that our good friend Iceman was unfortunately also hacked by the vaccine, the fake vaccine, and he froze all the waterworks, so we're gonna have to go beat up Iceman, unfortunately, which is kind of sad. He's cute. But what's not cute is dealing with Yoku blocks, which are those great disappearing blocks you love to hate. And thankfully, we have the repair chip, which instantly forces them to all be active, so we don't even have to play them. So we're just going to skip all that. So we're going to get our second reg up right here. We're going to dash tag and get 1 more HP memory. And I'm going to do a pretty significant folder edit, because this level has one of 2 mini-bosses in the whole game. So we're going to set Shockwave, toss those away, and now we're set. Okay, so the mini-boss coming up is this giant puffy that splits into 4 separate puffies that also all split into 4 separate puffies, because that's great. So the only real reasonable way to deal with it is with Shockwave. And if I get a bad pattern here, I can pretty easily die. This is not looking good. Okay, so each of these puppies all have 120 health. Big and tiny and extra tiny, which is really silly. Now, I want to get as many chips away from them as possible, because they do drop PUWP, and I want a lot of those. Doesn't look like I got a whole lot, so that might be concerning for later in the run, but we got through it without dying, so this is fine. So I'm going to set Elect Blade. We're going to go and get this key that we need in order to progress in Waterworks 2. For whatever reason, this is the only, like, main dungeon in the game that only has 3 areas, as opposed to 2. Oh no, I died! No, it's okay. So we'll take a Death Warp up here, get back to the beginning of the room, and also let us draw the Elect Blades that we just set, which is pretty nice. So one last Cold Bear jump here. No problem with that. Okay, and here comes the Iceman fight. So this is a little scary. He does have the Ice Bomb, the Freeze Bomb attack that can kill me in 1 hit at this HP. We're going to hopefully kill him before that happens. And he did nothing for me, so we're fine. That fight can also be a little scary because there actually are ice physics in that arena, even though it doesn't look like it. So you can absolutely slide into the ice bomb and just die.
Just always assume there's ice physics in like any game.
Every
always
game.
assume. And until it's been proven otherwise, assume there are ice physics. This also works in real life during the winter.
I mean, this makes sense that there's ice physics. Mega Man's a cool dude. Alright, so here's the last of the 4 stages right here. This is the shopping district where Brightman took over. So this first screen has the coolest horizontal movement in the game, so hopefully we're going to do this alright. So I'm going to focus for just a second here. There you go. That worked out pretty well. If you have bubblers or heat bees in your draw, you can do that even faster because you can get rid of the Sparkies, but you do what you can with that stage. And the rest is pretty simple to get through. So we're going to grab another Buster Power-Up for later. We want 8 of them by the time we get to the mid-game. So we very specifically routed out 8 very convenient ones to get. Like we get 5 from Blue Mystery Datas and Purple, and then we will pick up the other 3 from a shopping trip. One last corridor with these lasers. They will one-shot me with this HP, so be a little careful. So, pretty short and easy stage. But this boss coming up is very scary casually. So Brightman also has a blocking mechanic like Quickman did. But we're going to trick him. We're going to make sure that he doesn't get to do anything. And it's going to make people very mad if you've done this fight. Yeah, you don't want to see any of his attacks. So we're just going to make sure he doesn't get to. So by forcing the taunt animation with the Buster Shot fired over him, you can chain a tree bomb at the very end of the taunt. And then when he's in his iframes, you can chain additional tree bombs without him bringing up another taunt. And if you try and do that normally, you're probably just dying the first couple times, maybe even first 20 times. That fight is a nightmare to do normally. Alright, so we saved all our friends. Mega Man's feeling a little blue, but that's okay. We're still gonna go look for some information. So we get 2 emails that be like, hey, there might be some info about the Zero virus here. You might want to check it out. And of course, being generic protagonist number 329, we have to go check it out. So we're gonna make a stop to the arcade. Unfortunately, this is my least favorite arcade in terms of games. It's nothing but slot machines. There are no music games here. I'm sad. There actually is one little neat thing in the background. The bars on the slot machines actually say rock on them, even in the US version, which is pretty cute. So Color Man's running away from us, and it's like, oh, the World 3 must be involved. Let's go chase him. So we're going to use Doob Jump and just completely skip a bunch of this level. So yeah, you can do as many Doob Jumps in the air as you want, as long as you have chips and MP. So we just chained a whole bunch of them together to skip a long backtrack to this area. And we're going to be doing that for several more stages. So this chip is by far the most useful movement mechanic in the whole game. It's really great. See if I can get the slide. Nice, got that very tight slide underneath the fishy. Yeah, where's all my gamers? I need my gamers in the arcade here. But really, this whole game really has fantastic music. And this track is one of my favorites. Big shoutouts to the Super Sweep team who did the compositions for this game. 2 of the 3 are 2 very well-known music game composers, Sampler Masters Vega and Sampler Masters Aya. So there's your music game trivia right there for the day. A little damage boost through this clown right here. We'll do jump over this one, and we do need to get one more mem up that's in a very tight corner of the stage. So we're going to use a couple Doob Jumps and hopefully nab it. There we go. Oh, and we have the HP so we can just damage boost through that. Alright, so Color Man may have ran away from us earlier, but he's actually one of the most scary fights in the entire game. So let's see how many Bub Vs I got. Oh, I actually got 13. I actually got way more than I thought I did. I thought I only had like 6 or 7. I want at least 12 for this fight. So, the scariest thing Color Man can do is move towards me and box me in to where I can't do anything. So, we're gonna see what kind of pattern I get here. And it's not looking good. Yeah, this is looking pretty sketchy here. Okay, I'm getting a lot of the ball bounces. Okay, I didn't get the huge super bounce attacks, so that's fine. We did okay. I got lucky by halfway where he just kept tossing balls at me, so... Oh, that's a big weight off my shoulders, because that fight is really sketchy. The hitbox is really janky for Color Man, and the attack hitboxes are huge. So, good to get that down. So we're gonna go ahead to Power Plant here. This is the most difficult stage for planning in terms of MP use. We need a lot of dupe jumps. It's a very vertical-oriented stage. So we're going to hopefully... We actually got Tree Bomb, which we are going to use on the boss here. So this is actually pretty much a perfect draw. We're not going to do a whole lot of fighting, thankfully. We're just going to do a whole lot of jumping. If there's one thing I really do love about this game and its themes, it's that, like, the themes aesthetically are cool to look at, and they have great music to go with them that really fit. Like, just listen to that angry bass line. That just really fits the power plant. Oh, I even got dash attack. Nice. Okay, so we're gonna dash attack over here. We're gonna get another Buster power-up. And there's one more Buster power-up that we're gonna get at the end of this stage, and we'll be good with everything. So, dupe jumps cost a lot of MP. They cost 24. They're pretty expensive. But Tree Bombs also cost 24, and I need those for the boss fight coming up. So, that's why this is a difficult stage to play on. We'd want to use all 10 dupe jumps if we could, but we really can't. That's fine. So we're just going to wait here, wait for these Yoku blocks to show up. And then we're going to skip the most awful room in the game coming up right here with 2 dupe jumps. And we're going to skip a whole bunch of ladder climbs. So if you were to do that normally, you'd be going up a long ladder, dropping down to another ladder to climb up, go down another ladder to drop off to climb up while stuff's all in the way. It's pretty scary. Right. And that brings us to the Electman fight, which is why we have Tree Bombs. We need to exploit his weakness. He does have a block mechanic, so we're going to force an attack. These clouds are very random and they two-shot me, so this is an extremely scary fight. Thankfully we didn't get hit by more than one, so we're okay. So that is the first half of the game down, and we've got all our Buster Power-Ups that we need. And we'll be buying the remaining 3 during a shopping trip coming up right now.
Shopping, shopping, shopping.
Shopping. Atlanta's so rich. So, plot-wise, Mega Man started feeling really bad at this point. He got infected by the Zero virus, too. So, Dad's like, hey, there might be some info in the Zero account somewhere on the net. So, we get Higsby, our good friend, being an ex-World 3 member. He's like, okay, I can send you the key for that. What a pal. Even if he rips us off with his chip prices. He's a pretty swell guy. Anyways, I'm going to be doing just a little bit of setup for the next section, so this is actually a great time for announcements or donations.
So we did get another $20 donation. That one came from Anonymous, but we appreciate every single donation. Just as a reminder, we are here raising money for the Trevor Project. For those of you who don't know too much about it, it's the world's largest suicide prevention and mental health organization for LGBTQ young people. The organization works to save young lives by providing support through free and confidential suicide prevention and crisis intervention programs on platforms where young people spend time. Like, they have a phone line, they do chat, they do text as well. They also run Trevor Space, the world's largest safe space social networking site for LGBTQ youth. and operate a whole variety of innovative education, research, and advocacy programs. So really, they are a fantastic organization. We are so happy to be supporting them once again, and we get to do it in like one of the most fun ways possible, which is we get to spend a whole weekend playing video games. And y'all, help us, put some good money towards a great cause. I love charity marathons. They're like my favorite thing.
Yeah, you're getting a free hour of slide dabbing entertainment. Like, what a great way to kick off Friday. Alright, so we're going to do the shopping trip right here. You can see that we completely broke the layout of Outer Net by having Dude Jump. We just went straight to the shop. So we did a few things there. We bought the rest of our power-ups. We're going to upgrade our Buster to max, and we're going to Jack out. So you might have noticed I actually went to Global 3 first, and then activated a warp, and then we came back to the shop. So now we're going to be able to Jack out and Jack back in at the warp, and we can continue on. So you know how I was complaining earlier that the Buster was only doing 1 damage and was the most worthless thing in the game? Now it is the best thing in the game. So no longer am I doing 1 damage lemons. I now have really fast charge shots that do 90 damage apiece and can either 1 or 2 shot every normal virus in the game. So this thing is absolutely busted at this point. So this actually really helps a lot because now we're not so reliant on chips for our offense, which means we can keep stuff like Duke Jump or other chips coming up for movement or utility. And that's going to be shown right here. Anybody who's played Area 1 of this game knows it is extremely long and extremely difficult. So let's just not play it. We'll just jump straight to the exit. Really though, this stage and the next stage are the 2 most execution-heavy stages in the entire game. This is really scary. There's spikes everywhere that do 200 damage, so they basically kill me. There are a ton of pits. So we're going to hope we don't have an accidental death here, because deaths in this game are actually very costly, especially in a marathon setting. If you die in a stage, your chips do not get refilled. They only get refilled whenever you jack out. So you can be very, very stuck without having resources. So we're going to try our best to not have that happen while I'm over a bunch of pits. And what better way to increase the tension than by doing a bunch of single block slides right here. Thankfully, we got through it okay. Proto-Man also got infected by the virus. Serves him right. So we're going to go take care of the Navi coming up here. So the Buster is not only just good for the stages, it's also excellent for the boss fights. You might have noticed that every time I hit them, the previous bosses with something, they counterattack. Yeah, the Buster doesn't trigger counterattacks. So we'll just get whatever attack they decide to throw out on their own, which is really, really nice. Unless you get the invincible attack like this, which is pretty annoying. That's okay. Swordman goes down pretty quickly. So, no problem there. So, this is just a set of stages to get into the 0 count, just back to back. So, next stage opens up with the key that we get here. Wrong menu. We're going to do another shopping trip with the money that we got from that level. We're actually going to buy 5 barriers. Barriers are pretty nice. They do exactly what they say on the tin. They protect you for 1 hit. And they also give you a few frames of invincibility, which is pretty nice and useful. So we'll be able to skip a few things when we have barriers active. So the next stage of coming up is one of my favorites in the game. It's also, like I said, a pretty difficult one. The gimmick for this one is going to be a gravity gimmick, where the different types of panels indicate how high the gravity is. So jumps can be a little bit deceiving in this area, and there are some pretty nasty enemies here. Most importantly, I need to make sure I get 4 Mega Cannons here from these Cannodums. Mega Cannons are extremely useful for endgame, and I really need to make sure I have 4 of them. So we want to S-rank them as soon as possible. That's bad. That was an unfortunate death. I thought I could make that cycle. That's not too costly because we still have our Dupe Jumps. And we can actually get an extra Mega Cannon, so that if you're in a pinch, that might be useful. So, unfortunate, but not a huge time loss. I'll play that a little safer this time, just to make sure I don't fall off. So, I think... No, I'm gonna wait for it. Or I'm just gonna slide off. It's not a marathon without at least one slide-related death. So I'm actually playing on a SNES controller with an adapter. I do not recommend using the GameCube controller for this. It's really difficult to control with that D-pad. So if you do want to play this game even casually, I really would recommend any other comfortable way of playing so you have a comfortable D-pad to work with. So we're out of that mess. We're gonna get our last reg up right here. So now we have 32 megabytes for our reg memory, which allows us to set one chip near the very end of the game. And damage boost past this Hammer Joe right here. Hopefully not get sniped by this Canadon. Good. Looks like I am going to have to wait a little bit because my custom gauge is a little off. So you can reopen the custom menu whenever the custom gauge at the top fills up. We haven't had to do that very often, but we need to do that here, and I need to do a folder edit. Where's my hand cannon? But since the gauge empties out whenever you die, we're going to have to wait a little bit right here. So I'm going to wait just a little bit so I can draw my attacks. So now we have barrier, so now we can just slide past everything on the way to the end. Which is really neat because there's a Megalion in the way with an aura. Auras cannot be broken in this game unless you deal at least 100 damage or use the corresponding weakness element. So this brings us to the Gravity Man fight. He's actually very scary even though he doesn't move. Because he does a ton of damage with his attacks. He can also chain these energy balls together, which is not very fun. So we're just going to stab him in the back with shots. And hopefully he's going to die here. Okay. I really did not want to die right there because this game has no continue feature. So I do have backup saves, but a game over would have been pretty costly. So really glad we at least got through that level. So fun little bit of trivia. You might have noticed in the level, or like whenever we get back to Land's room, every boss you defeat, another one of figurine pops up in Land's room. And it's like, where did this come from? Does he 3D print them from the data? I'm kind of concerned. Land barely has the money for an elementary school student, but apparently he can 3D print all these nice figurines. Which is kind of creepy, actually.
Right. You've never, like, 3D printed, like, a whole bunch of, an army of figurines before?
Not from my, dead Navy's remains. I'm concerned.
Okay, that is a little weird. But I still say that 3D printing an entire army, not super weird.
Maybe he's plotting to take over the universe once he graduates from elementary.
I mean, you have to, do these things in steps.
Alright, so gimmick of this stage, it says no grav, it's really just low grav, but it's fine. We're just gonna skip all of Area 1 with a dupe jump. It saves a long horizontal backtrack. So Dad actually managed to find a real vaccine for the virus, and Mega Man's like, oh, hey, I feel better, but this vaccine only works for this version of the virus. It's like, oh, okay, thanks, Dad. They're evolving. They're learning. It's concerning. So we're gonna keep pressing on. This level actually does have the second of the mini-bosses in the game, and I actually did get PUWP, so we'll be able to do this fight pretty fast if I do it correctly. It's a giant Yort, like you can see right here, but this Yort has the worst hitbox in history, so we're going to use our Heat Beast to let the area of effect hit it diagonally, which made it a lot less painful. And then that brings us to the Starman fight. Starman likes to break line of sight when you aim at him, so we're going to try and trick him here. We're going to try and have him just do the star arrow over and over. And when he gets low enough HP, he's going to get very angry and do this, which is basically undodgeable if you're on a bad part of the screen. Yeah, he's pretty angry right now. We should be able to kill him here, though. Okay. Oh, the money almost went out of bounds. That was close. Yeah, I didn't mention that yet. Money can actually go out of bounds in the boss fights, and you can't pick it up. And money in this game is pretty tight for the run, so you don't want that to happen.
Though, speaking of money, I do have another donation to read if you have some time now that we're through that boss fight.
Yes, go ahead.
Fabulous. We got $25 from the wonderful Bill. Hey, PUWP Prime, look here. I know I'd really love to show you the lovely Prime palettes that our host Spella created. Hi, Spella. She says hi, Spella. I say back, hi, created. So if you can afford, please consider donating for the incentive. You won't regret it. They are the cutest. Enjoy the great marathon and see you later, y'all. Just to let folks know, we are at $71 so far for that incentive, and we need to double check the exact amount needed. We need to hit $150, so we need about $80 by the end of this run,
Yeah,
or at least before Kirby starts. So if you would like to help us start off strong and show off some wonderful Kirby Pride palettes, we would really appreciate it.
Yes, please do it for me. Please.
Do it for Cello! You can do it!
Do it for Mega Man. I'm saying the slide dabs are my free entertainment. You'll have to pay for the palette. Please do it for me. Alright, so we just skipped that entire stage with barriers. So, surprise, the Zero virus is being spread by Zero. What a shocker. This fight's actually really scary because he has a block mechanic, and he also has an undodgeable attack that we're hopefully not going to see by doing a very specific manipulation here. So we're going to try and stay close and do what we call Fast Zero, where we just keep pelting with Buster Shots afterwards. But when he gets low enough, he might have the chance to do the attack, so we're going to pray that doesn't happen. I'm actually at very low HP here. Oh, here it is. So this is Phantom Zero. You can't dodge that, and it does 300 damage. So it basically kills me. I have barriers. This is my last one right here. What are you slashing at, Zero? He's really trying to just practice. Okay. I don't know what he was slashing at. Maybe the air was a little too claustrophobic for him. And there's no texturing in this area. Maybe he just needed some textures. He wanted to make his own. So, unfortunately, since this is any %, Zero has to go away. So, bye-bye, Zero. But, in typical fashion, that is not the end. We have this man calling himself the Professor. He's like, hey, while you were distracted by all the Zero virus stuff, I took the sales from the fake vaccines, and I'm gonna make another life virus, and you can't stop me. Nanner, nanner, nanner. So we get a pep talk from Dex. I'm gonna go look for some info here. So we're gonna try and go to the internet where they're keeping the life virus. So I actually am going to show off one little other thing. So Yai's email is the plot trigger for this next part. But it also has, my Navi Glide couldn't get into the internet. They said he wasn't mean enough. So we're going to be a little bit mean. I'm going to show like my favorite line in the game coming up. Because it's just so absolutely ridiculous that this is even in the game that I have to show it off. I'm not even sure if I showed it off the last time I did this run for this marathon. So we gotta be nasty to this guy. We have to be as crude and rude as possible. And my favorite one is just, oh, right here. What? Huh? You gonna try and stop me, huh? Don't try any funny business, or I'll have to stab you. Rawr! Wow, you're so nasty. You gotta be from the internet. Just absolutely ridiculous.
I like how we had to have like a family-friendly version of like, you know, acting like, you know, rude and tough. Didn't even call the dude like a wet gym sock. I like that sort of like, yeah. Those are the types of insults I like, you know, or calling someone like a soggy waffle.
So we find out that the entrance to the internet is booby-trapped and we can't actually get in. So we're gonna go look for more information again. Now Dex does give us a level 5 entry code. How Dex, of all people, managed to get a level 5 code, I don't know. But we're not gonna question it. We're gonna take this and we're gonna do one shopping trip on the way to the next stage. Well, that's fine. I actually had like the perfect draw for a second, but I accidentally hit down and exited out of the menu the moment I took the dupe jump, so I guess I'm just gonna have to redraw in a bit. This is fine. This is not a concern. We at least have the thing I need in order to get to the next area. So, we're gonna head over to Legendary coming up, but we're going to do the shopping trip in the meantime, using the same trick that we did before. Rar is the new ooh. No.
I would think Rar would already be part of, like, the Ooh-verse. It's already in, like, the same sort of family.
Yeah, like, this game was released literally 20 years ago. Oh my god, I'm old. 20 years ago. It should have been in around that time. So we're gonna buy up a few more mem-ups and some HP mems to last for the rest of the game. And we're going to skip this really, really long ladder climb right here. And just jump straight up to Legendary. So this is your grandparents' internet. This is the Stone Ages of internet right here. So everyone get your dial-up modems ready. This is also my favorite track in the entire game. This Pharaoh Man remix rocks. So we're going to use our last 3 dupe jumps right here to skip a very long Yoku block section. And since I didn't take any other chips with me, I'm going to hope that I don't get screwed by this ratty and spooky combo right here. It's very possible. Okay, they were actually pretty nice to me. So hopefully we'll be able to make this cycle coming up. There's a cycle that I want to make where I need to sneak underneath a spike pit. Or spike platform. I actually should have gone for it, but I bailed at the last second. But better than dying, because that's actually a very costly death to take. So we're gonna reg barrier now. Pre or post Nom Nom? That's a good question.
Of the old memes.
It's just Internet Archive.
Yes, but...
So, barrier's real handy here. There's a bunch of strong enemies, and we don't have to care about them because we can just walk right through them. We're also going to see my wife's favorite enemy in the game. My wife, Haru, is actually sitting not too far away from me. And this is her favorite ratty coming up right here. This is Shushu. Hi, Shushu. Bye, Shushu. He just guards the ledge. He just goes back and forth and guards the ledge. And sometimes he does it so well in the old routes before we use the barrier that I would die to him. So, she's fond of Shushu. I'm not. You can also see Shushu one last time right here, doing his best. Alright, I actually have plenty of MP to work with, so we're going to do that. And we're going to go into the Pharaoh Man fight. So, Pharaoh Man's not too difficult, but he has a ton of HP, and I'm actually pretty fortunate I drew Mega Cannons, which will help speed things up near the end. We're just going to hope that he doesn't throw Anubis statues at me. Those are the worst attack to get. Okay, he actually tried to throw one at the end, but we killed him before it was a problem. So, no problem there. Can't pet the rat, but we can pet Rush. Good boy, Rush. Sadly, we don't see him at any percent. Okay, so we didn't really talk about bosses' drops. So each boss, the first time you defeat them in a stage, you actually do get a chip for their basically signature attack. I want to make sure I reg that chip. That's important. Okay. So you basically get their signature attack, and most of them are just kind of cool but not really useful. But the one that we got from Starman, Star Arrow, is useful. And if you've ever played Mega Man 5 and you've seen runs of that, you know how good Super Arrow is in that game. And we're basically going to use that in the same fashion. So this was the reason we got the extra memory in Gravity Man's stage so that we could set this here and do this really, really cool skip. So this is the old destroyed subway station from the first game, the network. This led to the World 3 base. So we're going to check this out and see if we get some info. So we're going to set this star up right after the snapper. Fire it. We're going to ride it. We're going to slide right under this. And then we're just going to outpace our buster shots. The most swag way to move in this game. Now there is a cycle I need to make at the end. And I did drop for a bit, so I may or may not make this cycle. We're going to try for it. I need to get around the snapper right here. It's going to be tight. That was pretty clutch. That was also not the best thing to do, considering I don't have the MP for the strat I want to do, but I drew cannons. So we're going to do this Shadow Man fight by humiliating him, because I've got some extra time and the rest of the run's gone pretty well. So Shadow Man's normally really hard, and it's really, really bad to try and fight him normally. So we're just going to embarrass him doing this. So what do you think about this, Scala?
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm definitely pro these like no game. It's kind of like watch him fun. Like nah. Just stop, buddy.
Yeah, he two-shots me, so I will very much take doing this over doing the charge shot method. Oh, that was close. So, Shadow Man gets away after destroying the data. He hides in the trees that the Cyber leaves in the abandoned subway station. Makes sense of that.
I'm trying.
But,
I know you had a whole bunch of words, and I'm trying to put them back together into like, wait, there's a tree inside the virtual subway station, or is this the real subway station?
yes. Alright, so this brings us to endgame. So we managed to reassemble the data that our dad recovered, and I'm doing a bunch of prep for the endgame coming up right here. So this game has program advances, just like in the regular Battle Network games. Most of them are pretty bad, but there actually is one that's useful for a run. So if you don't know what a program advance is, program advance you form by assembling 3 or more chips, very specific chips in a certain order, and then you get a more powerful attack. The one that we want is Zeta Cannon, which in this game is Cannon, High Cannon, and Mega Cannon. We're going to be using that to pretty much do the entire endgame here. Now, it's random what you draw, but we have a good strat that mitigates that. And it involves using the custom screen over and over. So, I only took Duke Jump right now. And you can see there are normally only 5 selectable slots in the chip draw menu. But there's slots for 5 more. Every chip that you don't take when you reopen the menu, you get that many slots. So now I have 9 slots when I open the menu next. So, by doing things in a very certain way, we can look at our entire folder very quickly using the full cuts, which refill our meter instantly. By the way, we're skipping this entire last level. So hopefully I'm not going to die right here. Very scary to get through these because everything kills me in like 2 shots. So we're going to land right next to the point of no return. And this is what we bought our sub-chips for. We're going to use an MP charge to refill our MP, and we're going to instantly refill the gauge full cuts. And now we're basically just going to throw away a whole bunch of stuff that we don't need so that we can get to the stuff that we do need. So because I filled the folder with a bunch of chips that I only have 1 of, the moment I run out of chips of something, I can no longer draw that chip. And that means the folder gets freed up, which means I can look at more useful stuff that I actually do want. So this third full cust, it is guaranteed I have looked at the entire folder, and I'm going to have everything I need. So we're going to get Cannon, Mega Cannon, or Cannon, High Cannon, Mega Cannon, and then we're going to take Heat and Tree Bomb on the side for later. So Zeta Cannon's extremely useful. It gives me invincibility and lets me spam Mega Cannon for about 5 seconds. By the way, this is a firewall. This is how you defeat firewalls. You just throw cannons in the face. I actually was firing a little too fast, so it doesn't look like it, but that boss actually does have invincibility frames. So it's easy to miss because you fire too fast. So, in between the sections of the endgame, we actually do get full health and chip refills. And that actually does refresh whatever we have selected, which means we can use Zeta Cannon again, which is really nice. So we've got a boss rush here. We're going to refight the first 8 bosses of the game. These are basically everything that were infected by the Zero virus, aside from Color Man for whatever reason. I don't know why Color Man's here. With the Buster, this is significantly easier. We'll still get a little bit of use out of some of the chips that we took. Like we can use Heat B for some faster kills, and the tree bombs are very useful for Bright Man again. So if I do this right, we're not going to see anything from Bright Man again. Good. No Bright Man. Don't need to see him. Poor Iceman's mostly just going to be walking back and forth here. He's so cute. Interesting enough, there actually are no ice physics in the fight. This is the boss we want to use the Zeta Cannon on. Yeah, I have checked very thoroughly. Oh, come on. Stand still. He keeps blocking my hits. He can block as many times as he needs to, but I don't think I've ever seen him block 5 times in a row during that fight. So, Color Man's going to be a lot less annoying since we're not triggering a bunch of counterattacks, so he's not going to really move towards me. Makes things a lot easier. And then for Elect Man, we don't have enough tree bombs, but we have this really cool Buster loop. Just watch him just menacingly point his finger at us.
He's not really doing much because he's not saying objection at the same time. That's where the actual power comes from.
You know, they only specify this game takes place in 2000 and X. Maybe it just wasn't out by this point. Alright, and that brings us to the end of the game right here, so all that's left is the final boss fight and this great cutscene about friendship and cheating navies. Like, look, our friends managed to destroy the Scutless with auras in one attack. Why can't I do that? Not fair. So you'd think Proto Man and Gutsman with their fighting abilities are the most useful, but no, Roll, actually, with her awkward dancing, actually ends up being the most useful because she gives me the HP and chip refill. So we have Zeta Cannon going into the fight. So this is a 2-phase fight against the Life Virus R. We want to do Zeta Cannon in a very specific rhythm since the Life Virus does have a life aura that we need to break every time. Okay, so that's phase 1. Time is going to be when phase 2 hits 0 HP. This is a very deterministic fight. The bubbles it drops reduce me to 1 HP and they can't kill me, but touching the core does kill you because that's 300 damage. So hopefully I'm not going to have a happy accident right at the end of the run. Well, unfortunately I missed that shot, so we're going to have to do this slowly. So, and that is time.
GG!
Thank you. So, I hope you all enjoyed this great network transmission run. It's a really, really fun run to do. It's a little scary. It's very execution heavy and a lot of luck involved, but it's really fun. You get to listen to some really great music, and I'm really happy to open the marathon with this. So it looks like we got a 57.59. That's a pretty okay time for this category. About what I expect for any percent marathon. Professor's cooling his heels in prison.
What? I mean, that's such an interesting localization choice. Oh, by the way, while you were in the middle of that boss rush, we did get $50 from the wonderful Rujasu, who says, Mega Man followed by Pride Kirby. Can't imagine a better way to kick off this marathon. Let's unlock that palette showcase. Chat, we need about $30 to get y'all some Kirby Pride palettes. We still have a little bit of setup to do, but I think you all can get it.
Yeah, we can do it, y'all.
You can do it.
Nice. Thank you all for joining me for Network Transition. Thank you, Scala, for being my host for now. Have a couple great runs coming up, and I will actually be back with Doom in just a bit. If you would like to learn this run, or any Mega Man Battle run, or just want to hang out, you can check out Team BattleNet, which is a great place for just hanging out, talking about both the Battle Network and the Star Force games. Really great community for both running and just casually coming around, especially since the Legacy Collection for the mainline games just came out. So just wanted to shout them out real quick. But thank y'all, and I will see y'all in just a bit.